Good morning and welcome. I am Pearl from Pearl in the Prayers, and this is Tuned in Tarot. And we're about to take a look at the divine masculine and divine feminine balance inside of ourselves, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see this reflected back to us in the outside world. Um, you can learn things about people from your real life, but really you're just looking at your own energy. And if you want to see changes in your experiences and your manifestations, you have to change the way that you are projecting your energy out. Okay, Divine Feminine's going first today because she had almost all of her cards showing, and her side looks so good just from what I can see, which makes me happy. All right, top of the deck, overall headspace, forefront of the mind for Divine Feminine. This is the only part. All the rest of her head looks great, but the forefront of her mind, that she's being very impatient today, okay? She's extremely impatient. The Temperance card is coming out in reverse. I think there's been healing done. I think she's chafing at the amount of time it's taking for this healing. I think she's sick of it. I think she's sick of like having to go in and look at what's wrong and try to figure it out and try to be perfect and whatever. There's an impatience with the process, um, and a little bit of difficulty having faith and trusting a little bit in the process. And um, my bassist just wrote a song with the lyrics, "Come on, baby, trust the process." And I cannot, it's just constantly in my head. So, yeah, she's having trouble trusting the process and she's being impatient. And she knows that this is a problem. And so it's on her mind. And she's like, okay, I can't be impatient, but like is. But I can't be, but is. So there's that kind of going on in the front of her mind. And then what's going on in the back of her mind? Oh, just impatience. So we've got the major arcana version of impatience, and then we have the minor arcana version of impatience. So she's impatient with the process, and she's impatient with this minor daily details that she has to attend to while she's trying to figure out what the fuck her future is going to look like now that she is this, you know, I would say ascended, elevated, like into her passions. She's like, okay, I've done this healing and like I think I look pretty good and I think I'm doing pretty good. And yet I'm still dealing with this major healing energy. And so the things that I want are still not quite here. And so why though? Because I'm really desiring for these pieces to fall into place in the real world so that this healing that has been done and this balancing energy that has been done in this grand scale can finally start to turn into something. And because she really believes that it's coming, because these are two cards about believing, right? We've got the Angel of Temperance who's pouring these energies back and forth, helping to balance out and heal whatever's going on within our soul energy. And then we have the Three of Wands where we're patiently, faithfully awaiting the arrival of the ships that we can see on the horizon. The pieces that we have put into place in the Two of Wands card are now coming into their fulfillment in the Three of Wands card. So this is fulfillment energy. It's balanced energy, and it's about trusting. So Divine Feminine is really struggling with it, and because of that, she might be having issues with overindulgence, because the Temperance card is kind of the healing sort of balm to the Devil card. And so if it's in reverse, there could be devil energy, addiction energy that is kind of she's numbing out with to try to deal with these impatient feelings, because she knows that if she's focused in these feelings of impatience, she's actively pushing back against the thing that she wants because she's noticing that it's not here over and over and over. So that's the biggest issue that Divine Feminine has. but she's really working on it. So I'm not too worried because the rest of her headspace is like so good. All right. The first thing up is in the same position as it was yesterday, with the same meaning as yesterday. The very first thing on her mind is, I am not going to fight this. Okay. I'm not going to fight against myself. I'm not going to fight against divine masculine. I'm not going to fight against the power of this pull that I have to this thing, this desire that I have to fulfill, this thing. I'm just not going to fight it. I am, however, not going to accept defeat in regards to what I know is true and what I know is possible and what I know is my potential. I won't accept defeat in this matter. I know that I'm getting what I want, but I'm not going to fight against how long it takes, how it arrives, who it is. I'm going to go with the flow and I'm going to allow it. The next thing on your mind, strength, and it's upright. So listen, we need to bow down to the divine feminine today because this is a strong feminine energy that has endured a long, long, long and winding road to arrive at the place where she is in her headspace right now. And there will be some feminines in the collective that I think are going to step back and feel surprised that this is really the energy of their headspace. And when they think about it, it's very true. But because this divine feminine has been so strong and has really been working to control her ego, we saw that the last few days, wrangling with the chariot energy and the devil energy, working on controlling pride, controlling ego. My phone's restarting for some reason. That is weird. Maybe it's updating. She is extremely calm right now. There's a card in the Ethereal Visions Tarot, which I'm using for Divine Masculine Headspace lately. The Strength card in that deck that I pulled actually came out twice last night or yesterday when I was chatting with people. And it is such a different image of the Strength card. This one has a similar energy where the divine feminine does appear to be, she's almost smug in her control, but the lion looks kind of like, not like he's enjoying this control so much. But in the Ethereal Visions Tarot, the lion looks like tame, peaceful, like she has tamed the wildness inside of herself. And I do feel this energy. She feels strong because she has learned how to tame that wildness, how she has learned to get that part of herself that goes into a defensive mode to protect the ego, that is demanding certain things, when she wants it at this moment, right now, kind of a thing. She has really learned to restrain this tendency within herself. And then we have the sun. So as she stopped fighting against this pull that she has against her desires, but not accepted defeat in terms of her ego protecting her from what she loves, she has opened herself to the experience of the sun, which is the divine masculine energy, fully present, fully illuminated. And it has taken so much strength for her to be able to do this healing work that has been going on these inner child wounds that blocked her ability to kind of tune in to her happiness. And she's opened up now. And here's the Ace of Cups, filled up from the divine. So she's feeling really, really fulfilled in terms of her own self-love, her own self-care. She's also not accepting defeat in regards to the reception of this. She understands that in the card we saw, we were looking at the Field Tarot, which we're going to see in the heart space. But yesterday when we saw the Ace of Cups, the Field Tarot shows the cup full and then it shows a reflection of the cup below it. And it's that idea that once that cup is full, you're going to see that same thing reflected back. So another arrives with the same filled cup, and then you share from the overflow so that neither one of you is ever depleted. And in this Ace of Cups, we have these two peaceful doves here, ready to share from this, fountain. And this is the Fountain Tarot. So the Ace of Cups is a fountain. It's never depleted in this deck. And Divine Feminine knows that, and that's why she feels happy, that as she controls her pride and ego and she heals these inner child wounds, filling up this cup, that this divine masculine energy is going to reflect it back to her. And then we see the Tower. Now, the Tower in the Fountain deck is quite unusual. There's this structure here at the bottom that's solid. And then this is the lightning struck part at the top. And it has become this sort of like grotesque, modern, futuristic sculpture. It's not even functional as a living space at all. It's just become bloated and self-indulgent, honestly. It doesn't serve any purpose. And so this is the part that's burning and falling away. And it's taken a lot of strength for Divine Feminine to admit this, that there was this excess that she carried around with her in her life. This could be, friends and family members who are not supportive. It can be a fixation on material appearances, limiting beliefs that she's carried with her about what she can be or do or have. All of the things that had sort of latched onto her that were just baggage. These are the things that burn away. But when we experience Tower moments and we experience this as a loss. It's something that we feel a lot of grief for, even though anybody who walked by this tower would be like, I don't know what's going on there. It's not cute. To us, it seems comfortably just right. So it's a loss we experience, and it's required a lot of strength for her to endure it. It's also required a lot of strength to be able to control this ego's desire to hold on to this, to be attached to it, and to continue to build it up, because it was also a protective force around her, right? Protecting her from what she wanted. And the Tower is about a big shift and a big change, and it's about discomfort, which we talked a lot about yesterday. And she's realizing in her headspace, I have the strength to withstand discomfort. Yes, I'm uncomfortable. Yes, I'm going to go to my own personal experience. Yes, I want physical companionship right now. No, I can't have it for some reason, but I'm going to just be uncomfortable, because trying to add anything else to this foundation that I have built up with Divine Masculine is going to result in another moment just like this. So if I try to add any more pieces to this puzzle that aren't about the original foundation, my tower is going to come down. So I don't want to seek out other relationships. I don't want to be afraid. I want to trust the process, right? I don't want to be afraid that if I'm waiting or whatever, that I'm going to miss it. Just no. I'm just going to be uncomfortable without a companion right now, trusting I'm going to control my ego. I'm going to control my pride. I'm going to give myself what I need, because ultimately my happiness depends on only my spiritual fulfillment. This is not the 10 of Pentacles. This is the 10 of Cups. So she's making this agreement in her headspace. You know what? I will not be defeated by my fucking ego's need for physical companionship or security that I think comes from a wedding ring or whatever it is that I think that I need. I'm going to forget what I think I need. I'm going to go back to what I know I need, which is spiritual fulfillment. I'm going to go back to what I know is a strong foundation. And I'm going to focus on this and not on this part. I'm going to remain stable and solid even in the midst of this discomfort. Because when my tower came out yesterday in my heart space, that is what it meant. It meant that this tower, this foundation is so solid that even that lightning can't really bring this new tower down. The original foundation is strong. And Divine Feminine is trusting in this, in her headspace. But she's impatient about the timeline. And she's working on it. The top of the deck for the heart space, I shit you not, is the 10 of Cups. The last thing on her mind is the overall feeling of her heart. Harmony, spiritual fulfillment, balance. The temperance energy that has been achieved has helped her achieve harmony. She's impatient now only because she knows she has harmony and spiritual fulfillment, and she wants to see it here, IRL. The niggling thing in her heart space is the 4 of Swords in reverse. So this is what's bugging her. This is rest in reverse. If we apply it to herself, it's about her feeling like she's been asleep on the job and she needs to get moving, wake up, and start really doing what it is that she kept praying she would be allowed to do. The universe is like, hey, look around you. Did you realize you can do what you asked me, but you're not doing it because you're focused on something else you want instead of doing the thing that you kept saying, oh, can I please do that? Like in my personal experience, I have been wanting to have enough financial security to focus on making my record as much as I want. Since I would say probably July of last year, this has been true. I have had as much time as I want to focus on making my record. Now, a lot of things have happened during that time. I transitioned into my solo career where I'm just kind of using session players instead of having like 2-3 main band members like I did before. So that was a big transition. It gave me a lot more freedom and a lot more control over exactly what I wanted to do. And so I kind of had to figure that all out. Sure. But it is March. And I have 11 tracks that I'm planning to put on this record. And they're all written. And like maybe 5 or 6 of them, maybe 4 of them are even close to being in a state where I could be like, okay, like now let's think about actually recording the final vocals and mixing it. And the rest of them, they're not even produced yet because they were these older songs that I know I want on this record, but I produced them with my old band and now I want to do something completely different. And some of them I produced like 15 different versions. One of them I'm thinking about. So like, great, I have to go back to that and start again. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm sleeping on right now because it's really fucking overwhelming. But I also want to get this done because I want to release it. So I need to wake the fuck up and I need to start expressing myself. I prayed for something in this 4 of Swords energy. The universe gave it to me. And then I was like, cool, thanks. I'm going to totally squander that. Stop doing that. Actually do what it is that you want to do. That's what your heart space is saying. Go do it. And in terms of this divine masculine energy where she's been experiencing this silence, that's the same thing. So how you just saw that applied to my real life, that's the same kind of energy she's experiencing from divine masculine energy. If she is not doing and expressing, he is not doing and expressing. I'm exhausted by myself. First card up is the Devil. It's in reverse, and it's clarifying the 5 of Swords in reverse. So she's not being defeated by this devil energy. We saw that before. We're not being defeated. We might be impatient. We might be having trouble with numbing ourselves out. Which does affect our productivity. But we're not going to accept defeat. Okay? This devil, fuck you. You do not have power over me. Get thee behind me, Satan, kind of an energy. Like, nah, you're not going to get me. I'm not going to loop think myself to death. And just to prove that, I'm going to clarify this strength card with the motherfucking strength card, bitch. I am strong enough to face off this devil energy. This devil energy doesn't have a hold over me anymore. It doesn't control me. My heart and my head know how strong I am. My heart and my head are in union in their agreement to take care of this pride and ego issue that has been a huge blockage, right? The devil represents the ego. So the devil in reverse is like, you can't rule me. You don't own me, right? Stop thinking you do. Ego, I own you. You work for me. I'm going to utilize your skills, showing me what it is that I desire, and then I'm going to tell you to back the fuck up while I take care of it because you don't know shit about it. You're a little baby child that's scared all the goddamn time. So be quiet, okay? You want to do that? Fine. Let me take care of it. Ego. That's the strength energy we have from Divine Feminine. Her happiness, the sun energy, is being clarified by the Four of Cups in reverse, which is meditation on it. So Four of Cups energy is where we're getting grounded, we're meditating, we're contemplating, but it's also about being stuck sometimes in a dream space or reverie, stuck in the fantasy and escapism. We see her fighting off devil energy. So she's fighting off escapism. She's fighting off numbing herself out. She's fighting off being stuck in this, creative space. And instead, we're seeing her look at having this happiness in this present moment right now. So there's a readiness here. She's ready to receive her happiness in her work that she needed to do. And she's ready to come out of her dream, the light, see all the colors all around her, the full spectrum of her happiness. She's ready to see that here in the present. This Ace of Cups, clarified by the Queen of Wands. So this is a vibrant, fiery, passionate queen who takes action for herself. She's an excellent communicator. She is not being overly reactive to any of her emotions that she's experiencing. She's using them to ignite her. She's in a state of inspiration. That was one of the songs that came up for her today. She got Smoking Song, which is what made me think of this Temperance card in reverse for myself, because I came here to smoke is the lyrics of that song. And I can tell you that I think I did come to the planet Earth to smoke because that is one of my greatest pleasures on this planet for some reason. And so the energy from that song was, she's like, I'm just, you know what? I came here to be chill. I came here to have like a chill experience and have fun and have a good time. And I want to take care of myself. I want to be inspired and I want to hold my vision, which is what she's doing right now. That strength card, that coming out of fantasy. What she took from being in fantasy is that she created this vision, this power of the Queen of Wands is her ability to really see and then hold that vision. And so that's what she's been doing, which has to do regarding this mirroring energy of this Ace of Cups. So for some in the collective, the vision has been about receiving love, and she's learned how to receive it from herself. And so now she's holding that vision that it will be reflected back to me. We're getting an interesting card. The Prince of Wands, in his light trait, he is very passionate. He throws caution to the wind. He sweeps you off your feet. He goes after what he wants without holding back, but he has no strategy. He's got no plan. He's got really no intention, or even if he has an intention, really no ability to be stable. So he's offering you passionate gestures, but the stability that is promised is like in sort of the intentions. She's not really seeing it. This is the discomfort divine feminine is enduring. This is what she is having the strength. I can feel her exhaustion because it is very trying. She is saying, okay, I don't have my equivalents. I don't have my reflected energy because my reflected energy should be physical and it's not. It is just spiritual. But I am going to endure the discomfort of your Knight of Wands energy because I am holding fast to the belief that my spiritual fulfillment is on its way. We have the Nine of Cups, clarifying the Ten of Cups, which is fulfillment and completion. The Nine of Cups is getting your wish fulfillment. So she's thinking to herself and feeling in her heart space, I'm going to be strong and I'm going to endure the discomfort of this tower caused by this Knight of Wands energy where he is coming in, expressing himself passionately in little spurts without any kind of real clear picture of stability. Because I believe that I believe in this harmony that I feel. I believe that we are going to come together, and I choose to believe in my wish fulfillment. And I'm working on the impatience I feel about it happening. All right. Let's look at Divine Masculine. He only had one card showing, so I have no, oh my God. Holy shit. Holy shit. Okay. Top of the deck. Overall headspace for Divine Masculine energy is the Five of Pentacles. So the first thing on his mind is this lack energy. But I really think, based on looking at the rest of the cards, that the first thing on his mind is bringing Divine Feminine out of the cold. He is acutely aware right now that he has kept her in the cold and engaged with her in this lack energy of feeling like he didn't have enough to share with her, feeling a lack of the ability to express love for her. There was all these kinds of different reasons, but he left her out in the cold, and he's thinking about it, and he's still doing it. And so he's thinking about it a lot. It's the thing he's thinking about the most. She's still in the cold. 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 And he's not loving this feeling because he knows that if he remains in this lack energy and doesn't start to shift into this abundance energy, Divine Feminine will keep him in the cold. And he doesn't want that feeling either. And I started to say the other day when we pulled this card for him that I was drawn to this image of this mother and child, or it could be a father and child. It really doesn't have clear gendered features, but the idea that this Divine Masculine was missing out on this. Some part of him missed out on this experience, and learning how to give this to himself has been what has been keeping him in this lack mentality, what has been keeping him in the dark. He's like had to learn how to comfort and soothe himself and not rely on the Divine Feminine. And so there's that is coming up with that image as well. The niggling thing is interesting because we have the overall feeling, the Five of Pentacles, and then the niggling thing in the back of the mind is the Four of Pentacles. And look at how this Divine Feminine is clutching and grasping. This is one of those rare times when I do a reading and I'm thinking that this is an outside energy that is not this Divine Feminine energy in this collective, but a third-party Divine Feminine energy. And it's rare that I have that feeling, but I do have that feeling right now that there is another feminine in this Divine Masculine's life who has been very grasping and clutching with him. And so this could be that in the past, now look at the difference. This person is comforting and consoling this inner child, right? cradling this baby and protecting them as best as they can in this lack. This person has all the abundance. These people are kept out. They can't get these pentacles. These pentacles are not accessible to them. This person has all of the pentacles, and that is who she's clutching in the same manner as this individual. This is her baby. This is what's important to her. So there's a couple things happening. There is a divine feminine energy and divine masculine's life that engaged in this behavior. So was very grasping about his material wealth. There could have been a karmic partner, or it could be a family member. It could be in multiple situations. Like maybe there's a family member who did this to him, and then it turned into a karmic partner who engaged in the same behavior, like this sort of cyclic pattern he was seeing with this grasping female energy. And it was because the female energy he was attracting was very insecure, because it matched his energy where he did not feel like he had this nurturing. And so he was attracting that same energy. It's also about how he valued this material wealth more than he valued divine feminine's love, which is what caused him to keep her outside in the cold. And he's realizing in his headspace, shit, like, yeah, I can blame this individual or individuals who had this energy towards me in my life, but I have absolutely been doing this to divine feminine. And so he's understanding how what has been done to him, he is now doing to someone who he desperately loves. And so this realization has caused him to think about this, which is the very first thing on his mind: temperance. And I gotta tell you, temperance energy is not usually a divine feminine kind of an energy. It's androgynous. But this temperance angel is a beautiful divine feminine, radiating light like an angel, right? Divine feminine's temperance energy happens to be a divine masculine who is radiating light like an angel, who is perfectly balanced in the material and the spiritual, who is balancing his energy back and forth reciprocally. So the divine couple sees themselves reflected, like divine feminine sees her divine masculine as her angelic energy that has caused her to heal. Divine masculine is seeing divine feminine the same way. This is at the forefront of divine feminine's mind because we see her impatient. We see divine masculine feeling a lot of patience in regards to the healing process that has happened. He's starting to feel patience with himself, understanding that the only reason that he has kept divine feminine in this energy, and where she feels this imbalance coming from him, is because he never learned this very, very important lesson. Somehow he missed out. He didn't get this. He didn't feel this. Instead, he felt this coming from the feminine energy. And so he's being patient with himself because he's understanding what it takes to heal something like that, a wound like that. He's also feeling that he would never have been able to heal this wound if it weren't for divine feminine showing him these wounds, holding up a mirror to him. And so because of that, he is going to tell her, here is the Knight of Cups. This is a knight with a cup filled up, ready to offer his love to divine feminine. The Page of Cups also carries an apology within the cup, something I forget to mention sometimes. That apology is here too in the Knight of Cups. And he's wanting to apologize to divine feminine for keeping her in the cold and explain to her that the reason why this happened is because of the twin flame journey, the Two of Wands. And he's also in a state right now, a mental state where he has prayed and asked for the ability to be able to come to his divine feminine now that he has been healed and give her this cup. He's prayed for this, and he's waiting to see what will happen on this journey. And I can't make it up. There's the cup. the Ace of Cups in the same position as Divine Feminine's Ace of Cups and clarified by Temperance, which means that this healing has allowed Divine Masculine to have his cup filled with self love, which, when we look at this picture for Divine Feminine, we see she knew would be reflected back to her. And this makes this true. Divine Masculine is saying, yeah, Divine Feminine, your work that you've done, showing me and telling me about it, this is what's allowed me to have my cup filled. And then I can't. Ace of Pentacles. My ear is ringing. My right ear is ringing. Clarifying the Knight of Cups. So, what is in this cup but an offer? A very solid offer, a material world offer. And it's no coincidence that it looks just like this Ace of Cups, because now that he has filled this cup with self-love, he actually has something to offer. In the past, he didn't. He didn't have anything to offer because he was depleted, not only by the actual third parties in his life that were taking this abundance, material abundance from him and trying to really prevent him from having fulfillment and happiness, but because he engaged in that clinging and grasping behavior where he couldn't let go of material fulfillment. And so he realizes now that that has been healed within him. And now that he has this cup, he actually has something to offer. And so there is no more standstill. This Two of Wands energy is clarified by this Two of Swords, and it is in reverse because he has made a choice. He's no longer in the position where he's like, you know, if I choose this, if I choose myself, then I hurt these people. If I choose to like pacify these grasping individuals, then I hurt my Divine Feminine and myself, and I can't make that decision because I don't want to hurt anyone. So please make the decision for me. He's no longer in that weak position, because that's a position of weakness. Not choosing for yourself is allowing the universe to choose, and we don't usually like what we get, because what we get usually looks like this, right? Because the universe is like, oh, you want something and you're not willing to make a change? Okay, well, I guess I'm going to have to kick you in the ass then so that you get what you asked me for. So Divine Masculine has left the risk of that behind, and he's chosen to trust this twin flame journey, to trust that what he's asked for is being given, and also he's choosing Divine Feminine. And he's really hoping in his headspace that Divine Feminine lowers her guard and doesn't block him, because he's a little afraid that she's going to reject him. The heart space for Divine Masculine. Top of the deck, overall feeling of the heart is the Four of Wands. It is in its reversal. This is also a twin flame card, because we have like the 11-11 thing going on there. So I think the only reason we're seeing a reversal here is because this is also, we're using the Crow Tarot today. I think we're seeing Divine Masculine feeling just really, really craving stability in this connection, and they don't have it yet. He feels that they have a sacred union. They've already had a sacred union. Divine Feminine does too. I know that, like in terms of her energy, this harmony she feels, the harmony she feels comes from that sacred union of Divine Masculine and Feminine inside of self. So I do sense that he feels they're in sacred union, but that their foundation is a little bit unstable because they haven't grounded yet here in the 3D. So he's feeling that the foundation of this marriage that he wants to have, this sacred union, is still a little bit shaky. And the niggling feeling in his heart space is the World card in its reversal. So he's feeling like a feeling of it's not over. There's still cycles left to be completed. We still haven't finished what it is that I desire. It's also a sense that it is not over for him, even though they have had a difficult time establishing a foundation in the material world. it's not over. He's going to keep working until he draws his last breath, I'm hearing, to make sure that this foundation will take place, that they will establish this between them. And to start, he just wants to get into this energy of physical union with, like maybe a date. So the Two of Cups energy, like, let's break bread. Let's share these cups. We both have them. We both have the Ace of Cups in the same part of our headspace. Let's actually share the cups. We're also seeing that he's believing that this energy that has occurred, this healing energy, the balancing from the temperance energy, has allowed these two cups to be leveled out, evened out, so that they can actually now physically come together without an imbalance in their positions with each other. There's not one that's idolizing the other. It's just like, oh, you're me and I'm you. And like, there's stuff I love about that and stuff that's so annoying too. And like, we're just on an even playing field. So that's a good feeling for him. And it makes him really feel like he's capable of having physical union. We're seeing the Nine of Pentacles, and this is what is clarifying this Knight of Cups. So this is where Divine Masculine plans to take this cup directly to the Divine Feminine energy that's usually present in Nine of Pentacles. In the Crow Tarot, we see transformation, we see loyalty, we see abundance, and it's a card that's like single and fabulous energy. And I do think that Divine Masculine is like understanding that Divine Feminine is currently single and available. And he really needs to head towards her right now, because this is an energy that, first of all, she deserves to be partnered and not be on her own and be alone. And he wants to be the one that's there to do that for her. And second of all, he feels this urgency, because he knows that with her being so independent and really not needing him, which is a good thing, he now understands, it just puts him in this position that makes him feel a bit insecure about his ability to achieve the stability between them. He's also working to release the attachment he has to outcome that's always present, and he's feeling like he wants to be self-indulgent and allow himself to just go to this Divine Feminine. Because Nine of Pentacles is about rewarding yourself, and he wants to reward himself and just go after what it is that he wants. He is not engaging in this Eight of Swords behavior anymore. He is done protecting his heart space from this journey. He understands that resisting the journey and trying to protect himself from the trajectory where he would start to experience love from Divine Feminine and then be scared and protect himself. He's understanding that that has been part of the journey, and that all the delays that have happened have been part of the temperance energy. But he's no longer in this position where he's feeling the need to slow this journey down anymore by protecting himself from what he knows he desires. He desires his twin flame. That's what he wants. The Ace of Cups, I can't fucking make it up, is clarified by the Eight of Wands. So we have the Eight of Swords in reverse, which is no more self-sabotage, no more thoughts preventing me from having what I desire. Instead, excuse me, sorry. Instead, that's becoming this Eight of Wands energy, which is this momentum, this rush of messages that reveal the contents of this cup that the Knight of Cups is carrying. He's allowing himself, he just wants to indulge his desire to stop protecting himself and send messages of this love he has to his Divine Feminine and offer her, right, this pentacle. And who does he want to offer it to? Well, he wants to offer it to his Queen of Wands, which is in reverse. Here she is, the Queen of Wands. So we know that he's thinking about his Divine Feminine and not another Divine Feminine. And we also know that he's thinking about her because this Queen of Wands that didn't have any lions in her card, she has the Strength card twice. And then we have here the two lions. So we're 100% sure that the offer is going to this Divine Feminine. Why is she in reverse? Well, she can be emotionally reactive and a little bit pissy and have, her be overly passionate. So he does have some fear that she might remember. He's a little bit of fear that she might reject him. So he's hoping that she doesn't go into the shadow traits, that she's not angry with him for taking so long to bring this offer, that she doesn't turn him down or reject him because she's so attractive and so magnetic, and he's feeling like, I want to be this magnetic and I don't know if I am. I don't know if I am, but I hope that I am. So this is about his fears, like whether or not she's really going to accept this offer, which with her being so strong and not needing him, he's not really sure. He's like, maybe she's not even going to accept it. And then the last thing that was in his heart yesterday, we're seeing again, and it's in its reverse. And yesterday it was about walking away from what doesn't serve him towards his higher path. And today it's about him having done that. He walked away from the energy where he was stuck trying to appease others, trying to, save what was in some of these cups that were still filled, even though there were so many that had poison in them. He was trying, by being in this indecision, he was holding himself in this limbo space, just really trying to salvage what it was that he had in his last life, this loss that he experiences when he chooses divine feminine. But he's done that. He's walked away from it. He's made his choice, and he's no longer going to serve others. He's going to indulge his own desires. Cool. Okay, divine feminine, let's look at your oracle messages. Oh, what a lovely confirmation. Divine feminine, you're in the light attributes of the angel. And I just think that, you are. And I think this is just a confirmation for divine masculine, if he's watching, that she is. What he thinks is true. Divine feminine is an angel. And so is he, because they are reflected energy back to each other. So if she's an angel, then so is divine masculine, right? So, divine feminine, you are helping those in need with no expectation of return. And I feel that coming very strongly from you. You are in the shadow attributes of the damsel a little bit, which is waiting for a knight to provide for you and a seduction by romantic illusion. And you need to call in the light, which is understanding the nature of healthy romance and inspiring you to rely on yourself. So, divine feminine, if there's anything that's going on that's strongly standing out to me, it's the waiting for a night thing and romantic illusion. So you need to make sure that you are continuing to work on understanding the nature of healthy romance and relying on yourself for what you need to receive, not trying to get it from someone else, right? Just giving it to yourself. As you continue to give yourself what you need, I promise you, you will see a manifestation that will absolutely reflect that back to you. Absolutely. Your guardian angel is here supporting you. You have 2 cards that say vision on them. So vibrancy, this one says vibrancy technically, and vision, but this is holding your vision. Also, you found it. Whatever it is that you were looking for, you have found it. You have found it. And that's why you're enduring the discomfort. You understand? Well, you might be in this Prince of Wands energy at the moment. But I am enduring this discomfort because I know that I found what I'm looking for in this person or in this manifestation. And then, just in case you don't believe me, finding. You found it. You found what you're looking for. So don't seek what you're looking for somewhere else. First of all, you found it inside of yourself. Doing that allowed you to see clearly what energy matches you. You have found that love, that inner love, that self-love, that vision and vibrancy within. Because of that, you will see it reflected back to you. I am the loving energy of the universe. There it is. You found it inside of yourself. I am the loving energy of the universe. It is time to take action, Queen of Wands. Take action towards your dreams. Your Four of Cups was in reverse. Come on out of your dreams. Wake up from your reverie and take action. Expect powerful change. And this was in its reversal. So it's not even like expect it, but powerful change is happening right now. Right now, a powerful change is taking place within you. This is a time for healing. So don't be impatient. Healing always results in a perfected vessel, right? So don't be impatient during this time when you're being called to heal. Tune into your inner temple. Be in this state of devotion and tune into the inner temple of your heart, which you've already found, Divine Feminine, which is so exciting. And then we're getting the 39 card, Moth Spirit, Surrender Now, from the Colette Baron Reed deck. Let's see her beautiful message and what she has to say to us today. Moth Spirit, this is a protection message. Moth Spirit can be intense, and honesty about your own compulsive tendencies is needed right now. Ooh, that Temperance in reverse. It is too easy to switch from one addiction to another, distracting yourself from the discomfort of uncertainty and the thoughts and emotions that arise when you aren't single-mindedly pursuing a goal. Moth Spirit calls to you to practice moderation in all things and recognize when you think you are headed toward the light, but are really heading into a fire that will cause burnout. Why are you so resistant to letting up? Could you be avoiding difficult emotions you need to feel and release? Now is the time to do a fearless inventory so that your addictive tendencies can be toned down and rechanneled into enthusiastic activity in moderation. You are not a machine. Listen to Moth Spirit's message that a change is needed to support your well-being. Maybe deep down you know you have become too attached to something and someone. Let go of your need to control the outcome and allow yourself to remember the many ways you want to channel your energy. To relationships, to work, to giving to others, to self-care, and to all the other pursuits you value. Wow. Wow. I've never gotten that message from this deck before. And it's freaking powerful to me, especially because we saw that your forefront of your mind is that you know this is true about this issue you have with moderation, right? You have put all of your energy into the manifestation of this one aspect, thinking that that's all of you, but you are a lot of things. You are not just this divine masculine iteration or this career move you want to make or this, bundle of abundance you want to generate so you can do whatever it is you want to do. You are not just that one thing. You are many, many, many aspects. And instead of putting so much of this devil energy that has been plaguing you into your ego's sole desire, whatever that is, free up that energy, moderate it, put some energy there, put some energy into healing with this divine masculine energy, and put some energy into creating something you're passionate about. Put some energy into your job and put some energy into your family and put some energy into helping others in the earth, and don't just be one thing. Which is in stark contrast to one of my favorite quotes by Ron Swanson, which is, don't half-ass two things, whole-ass one thing. But in this case, half-ass all the things, because you're becoming consumed with this one aspect, and you need to realize that you're a sum of parts, and this is just one fun aspect of you, but there's a bunch of other things you could be doing. Whenever I finally allow myself to work on music, which for some reason takes me so long to do. Like I'll have a whole week pass by and then one day I'll work on it and the whole day will fly by in a second because I'm really enjoying myself. But I like don't let myself do it. I'm like, well, I don't want to do that right now. Well, I don't want to do it. And I do it and I'm like, my eyes are glued to the screen and I'm coming up with all these cool ideas and I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to do this and I'm going to play this and I write a whole other song. So I'm just confused all the time. I'm like, why don't I want to do this all the time? But I'm actually from this card starting to think like, I think the pressure I have on myself to be single-mindedly focused on anything is actually an obsession and a compulsion of mine. Instead of just allowing myself to be like, if I feel like working on it today, I will do that. And then not putting pressure on myself, maybe I would work on it more because I wouldn't feel this dread that I have to be so focused entirely on it that I can't do anything else because I have to finish it, whatever it is. Just moderation towards our desires. Divine Masculine, you are in the light attributes of the shapeshifter right now, which is the skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness and the ability to see the potential in everything. And you're no longer projecting an image that serves your personal agenda in the moment. So you're doing a great job right now of shifting between 5D and 3D energy. You can see the potential in yourself and in this union. And you're not trying to project an image right now to anyone that's just about, building you up or whatever. You're actually just trying to maybe create something that's a lot more honest. You're coming out of this hermit energy because this is in a reversal, but the shadow attributes are withdrawing from society out of fear or negative judgments of others and refusing to help those in need. And the light is seek solitude to focus intently on inner life and serves personal creativity. But I do not see you as needing to go into the hermit energy. I really felt strongly that you have been in the shadow of it. You've withdrawn out of fear and worry about negative judgments, and you're refusing to help yourself and divine feminine, even though both of you are in such need to come out of isolation. You've just withdrawn because of your fears about how you're being perceived. And releasing this urge to project an image to others is part of this process of leaving behind this need to be withdrawn and not show yourself and to hide away. And then you're getting safe travel from St. Christopher. So if you're about to travel in any way, you're protected in that. But it's also this idea of coming out of hermit energy, like no longer being on this internal journey, but traveling from that internal world, shape shifting now here into the 3D. And your guardian angel is here to support you to be brave in this process. And it requires a lot of bravery to cross over from what was once just fantasy into reality. You're also being supported with stress management because you feel a lot of fear. You are a fearful divine masculine and you have sort of an anxious default anyway. So whenever you have to do anything that's really requiring a lot of you, it does make you feel pretty stressed out. So your guardian angel is here to support you in stress management and remind you to do this for yourself. You're getting the home card in reverse. So I feel there's a move that's happening. You're moving out of a house or maybe into a new house, or maybe you had a house and you lost the house. It's no longer like you sold it or, had to surrender it in some way. But the thing is, even though this is difficult, it has given you closure that you needed to be able to now move forward. There's no entanglements anymore in the past, in the home that you had in the past. You've been able to walk away from it with a sense of closure. And then you're getting this beauty card in reverse, which of course has the mirrored reflection of divine feminine in it. And to get all three of these together to me means that this divine feminine from the past, who actually seems to have been a bit surface level, like maybe a bit shallow, maybe a bit vain, or focused on just the outward appearances, like the mansion, the cars, the trips, the perks, or whatever, this is who you're receiving this closure with. And again, we saw her here at the beginning of the reading. Somebody who's clinging or grasping energy could also just be your own. I mean, it is your own. It's reflected. What I'm saying is there's probably a person that's reflecting back this energy of yours. You had a tendency to be focused on the surface level, the material things, and you're leaving behind that shallow energy and instead going and being much deeper and seeking self-fulfillment. The key to prayer is to forget what I think I need. I just fucking even said this today. So Divine Feminine, we talked at the very beginning of the reading about how she is in a place where she has to forget what she thinks she needs and trust that the divine knows what she needs, right? And that's what's making her a little impatient, is thinking she knew what she needs, but really just starting to be like, no, I need to trust the process. Maybe I don't know what I need. Divine Masculine, you are being told now to do the same work. You have to forget what you think you need. You have to pray for what you truly need. So instead of being like, personally for myself, instead of me being like, oh, please send me a physical body so that I can actually engage in a physical 3D companionship. And that's what I think I need. And the divine knows that if I was sent a physical companion right now, that it would interfere with what I asked for. So that can't happen. And instead of fearing that it will never happen, I'm choosing to stay in the discomfort and experience the person that I believe that I want. In this energy, I'm staying there and seeking my harmony and wish fulfillment in myself, right? So I thought I needed a physical companion, but something about my situation is indicating that no, that's not what I need right now. If I needed it, guess what? I would have it. If I needed it, it would be here. So Divine Masculine, forget what you think you need and let the divine give you what you actually need. Prosperity lies ahead. It's time to release negativity, which is a big one for you. Remember, if you're feeling a focus on negativity, then that's what you're feeding energy. The other night I was having a discussion with my friend who was going through some mental turmoil over a relationship. And she was telling me the stories that she was fearing. And they were nutty stories. That's what we do. We tell these crazy stories. And I knew there was no way that the person she was thinking about would feel or do or think any of the things she was assuming. And so in contrast, I was like, well, what if this is what that person was thinking? Which was a much nicer, kinder, probably more accurate version. And her response to me was, I don't want to assume that. And I was like, bitch, you don't want to assume the good thing, but you are all gung-ho about assuming the crazy shit that makes you feel terrible. You get to choose what you focus on. You don't want to assume the good thing because you're afraid of disappointment, because you're afraid you don't deserve the outcome of the good thing. You want to assume the bad thing because you already feel like that matches your level of worthiness. Obviously, I'm not worthy. So obviously, this person is thinking all this shit about me. And I had to hold that space for her because I knew that what she was saying was an assumption that was about negativity. And I knew that there was a way to be assuming something positive. And I knew the result of the way her mood would shift if she could focus on what she wanted and not on what she didn't want. Not on what she didn't want, rather. The ever unfolding rose cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. This is another way to release negativity. When you accept that these things that happen, like a divine feminine energy that took all your money, took all your time, took all your years, whatever it is that you're projecting onto this divine feminine energy, she did that for you. She did that so she could show you when you looked in the mirror that that is what you were doing to yourself and to others. Right? That beauty card, that shallow, that was her holding up a mirror to you. That's what you thought was important. It's okay. you realized it wasn't. And you changed your mind and you moved on. And here's your beginner mind, Porcupine Spirit. And we're getting the Oracle message. This is the 48 card. We had the 39 card and now we have the 48 card. So love those numbers for us. When Porcupine Spirit calls your name, you are being asked to adopt a beginner's mind and to approach situations with innocence and curiosity. The old confining stories no longer have a hold on you. Life is full of surprises hiding in plain sight. Looking at the world afresh with new eyes can help you find what you've been seeking, whether it is a relationship, an opportunity, or evidence that you have all you need right now to co-create what you desire. Who knew? Porcupine asks you to be playful and have a childlike curiosity. There is so much waiting for you that you have yet to discover. That's not what I pictured from Porcupine message. I like that. So yeah, beginner's mind. Be more playful. Allow this to happen, Divine Masculine. Don't take that negative story from your past and project it onto you like it's some kind of a curse. All right, let's look at the bottom of the deck to close out the reading. We have the divine couple is currently in the shadow attributes of the Samaritan. So this is exacting appreciation and recognition for the help you offer. So there's a little bit of you're both feeling a little bit of resentment. You're both feeling a little bit like, I've done this, this, and this. Can't they see that? Can't they see what I've done? And it's not serving you. It's giving you like a hard energy. You're also, in this case, there are these twins, right? And they're performing, it looks like there's some kind of like trapeze artists, right? So they're performing trapeze work, which takes a lot of precision and accuracy and teamwork working together. If you are in a state where you're exacting appreciation and recognition for the help you offer, instead of just offering that focus and nurturing and attention because you want to keep this flow going between you for the joy of the feeling of being a trapeze artist, right? Flying up above, catching each other, like it's like an extraordinary ascendant, like transcendent experience. But it can only be done with careful focus and intention on one another that you do purely to be able to enjoy the activity, right? If you were demanding that the other person acknowledged you for looking at them at the right time when they reached their hand out so that you could connect hands, and for some reason that person wasn't acknowledging you, you would be focused on them and what they were doing instead of how you were meeting them where they were at. So you would miss hands, you would fall. You couldn't engage in this dance if you were demanding that the other person recognize how difficult this was for you to do. It would be like, okay, well, I'm doing the same thing, yo. And if I'm focused entirely on every single little move you make, giving you an offer of appreciation that's the same, like we'll never be able to accomplish this dance. We just have to pay attention to each other because it's what we want to do, not because like you're going to give me a reward when I've done it for you. So you have to have that focus and attention that comes from the desire to engage in that, be like for the joy of the experience, not for your upliftment personally. If that makes sense. Marriage card, St. Catherine. Divine Masculine wants to make an offer of marriage. That's very clear. Divine Feminine wants to be in a committed relationship. I think she wants to accept an offer of marriage. That's also very clear. But the marriage and that sacred union will only be as stable as the two of you are individually. So you must have this stability in order to go forward. And so St. Catherine is here to support you in achieving the kind of stability that you need to have this marriage that you both desire. You're receiving the compassion card in reverse, and you got it yesterday upright. And so what I think is you've done this, okay? There was a call for you to be more compassionate. And I see you having done this, become much more compassionate for yourself and others and each other. And the compassion that you have for each other is really helping you make better choices in regards to how you're interacting. True healing occurs when I give myself permission to feel whatever feelings live below the triggers. So, interesting. That's this, right? True healing, temperance energy, occurs when I give myself permission to feel whatever feelings lie below the discomfort. So, divine feminine allowing herself to be uncomfortable with this energy. This is what is truly healing her, because as she allows herself to experience the discomfort and starts to be curious and ask questions, she starts to get to the source of the discomfort, which heals the wound, which takes the pressure off of the divine masculine to apply the bandage to the area, right? It's no longer his job to apply the bandage to the wound. The wound is actually healed. Now they can both enjoy each other in their wholeness. You're getting nothing will come of this situation, the void of course moon. The void of course moon is when the moon cycle is in a stage where it is not more this or that. It is not likely that this will happen. It is not likely that that will happen. And right now, you are in a state, the two of you, where it is not likely, more likely that this or that will happen. There's also a message here that the fears that you have about it not coming to be, nothing will come of that situation. If you have some stress or pressures on you at this given moment from outside energy, you don't have to worry about it. But it's really about the relationship kind of being in this moment of stasis. Anything could happen. This is not more likely to happen than that. Divine masculine knocking at my door is not more likely to happen than him not knocking at my door. Literally, he could today. It's just sort of like anything could happen, sort of an energy with an emphasis on nothing bad is going to come of the situation. It's just anything could happen, but it won't be bad. Soul family, call in your tribe. You do not have to do it alone. So this is for both of you to remember that you are, first of all, I think this message is about you blending and having your family, reflecting this energy is about expanding and growing into a larger family, calling in that family, your spirit babies or whatever you want to call them. They're like hovering around you at this point. And they're always with you, and they're like trying to help you hold the space for the vision of them entering here into the world. So it's part of that, like your future soul family that you have together. But it's also about calling on your current family too and seeking guidance and inspiration and upliftment from those you consider family. This could be your chosen family, like your community here on the tarot family. Obviously, if your family isn't very supportive, that's probably not who you want to turn to. But some of us have lucky bonds with people in our families, and it's a good time to call those people in. And then you're finally getting Vulture Spirit. Nothing is wasted. What seems hideous has its own beauty. And the recycling and repurposing the vulture does is as important as any other activity in nature that supports the cycle of life. Vulture Spirit's message is that nothing is to be wasted, for nature sees value in everything that exists. What seems rotten and ugly has the potential to be transmuted into something beneficial. And you are reminded that any suffering you have experienced has not gone to waste. Wisdom and understanding that arose from the experience are talismans that will serve you on your journey wherever you go. What is decaying is only changing form and will fertilize seeds you wish to plant, turning that which has passed away into the substance that will support new growth. All that you might wish to deny or discard has value and can be repurposed and reintegrated into the new you that you are becoming and the new life that you are dreaming into being. No pain was in vain, and no experience was wasted, for you have the power to use it to co create something far better. This is the miracle in your partnership with Spirit. So, nothing that happened between the two of you was a waste. Nothing that happened, the time that you couldn't be together because you had to be in this temperance energy and you had to figure out your way, nothing of that was wasted time. There's no wasted time here. Um, it's it's all valuable, and it's all been so that you could rebirth the connection. This is like a death and rebirth energy. This is the force that transforms death back into life again. All right, let's close the reading with a goddess energy. This is for the goddess practice that we're doing to try to balance goddess energy, since we have overemphasized God energy over the years. And I just pick a card from this deck to represent the divine feminine that we can focus on. But when you are on your own, you can focus on any divine feminine energy from any modality. You can even think about yourself as the ultimate divine feminine. But just visualize feminine energy, holding two hands over your heart and repeating for 15 minutes the mantra, "My heart is the heart of the goddess." And this is the goddess we're closing out with today, Eagle Woman. Despite the fact that the life-giving and death-wielding bird goddess is one of the oldest representations of the goddess, eagles have usually been linked with the masculine with a few exceptions. The Sphinx of Egypt and the wings of an eagle had the wings of an eagle, and the Aztec goddess Xochitl was also called Eagle Woman. This Eagle Woman shows a new marriage of the feminine and the eagle. She represents all an eagle stands for: spirit, valor, majesty, renewal, accuracy of sight, spiritual aim, and the ability to soar to the heights. She also holds in her hands a vessel, the traditional symbol for the feminine, for that which receives, contains, and nourishes. Here, both sets of values are joined, emblematic of a different combination of strengths that are part of being woman born. Eagle Woman is a joyful affirmation of our ability to break out of millennia old stereotypes and find a new definition that embraces the entire continuum of being alive. She teaches that women can express the qualities of the eagle while continuing to contain and nurture. And I think we're seeing her because of the freedom that we're experiencing through this journey to express ourselves fully in our own authentic truth. I think it's also interesting that this card was described as a marriage, um, because that's the theme that has come up. I lost the place where it was. Yeah, a new marriage of the feminine and the masculine. All right, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a lovely Sunday. Remember, there will not be a noon reading today with Grace Strega because she is on a vacation. Normally that happens on Sundays at 12 p.m. It may be postponed again next week, but we're going to touch base in the middle of the week just to see where she's at and see if she wants to start up again on Sunday or if she wants to wait one more week. So stay tuned for the return of Grace Strega, hopefully next week or within 2 weeks. I am planning to complete the 3-card bi-weekly check-in for Patreon subscribers at the $9.99 level. So if you're interested in getting extra content from me and supporting me in my ability to read daily for you and to make my record, you can click the description box below. There's a link there to my Patreon account that shows the benefits, and there will be a new reading available tomorrow, which will be extra content for you since I take off Tuesday, so I do not read on Tuesday mornings anymore. I do no readings on Tuesdays at all. So there will be extra content from Patreon that you can watch on Tuesday if you can't go one day without me. So that's going to be coming up. I'm going to be taking care of that sometime today. So look for that tomorrow, Patreon subscribers, which I know I have one at the $9 level. So you're going to get definitely your bi-weekly readings for, I can't believe it's already March 8th coming up. This is crazy. But I hope you have a wonderful day. Please like, subscribe, share, click notifications, or follow me on Tune In Tarot on Instagram to see the live shuffle in like a time-lapse video with the songs that shuffle during the reading, because I don't always bring them up, but I do use songs to help guide the reading, and there are messages in those songs that you can see on my Tune and Tarot account. Oh, and in the description box below, there is also a wish list of cards. So if you'd like to change the imagery on the account or support me by sending me a deck, there are some decks that I have my eye on. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you tomorrow morning here on Tune and Tarot. Take care.